What's going on, guys? Copert here, and today I want to talk a little bit more about the Hardline beta that most of us have been playing this past week or so. It goes on for another week. I'm not going to go too crazy covering this beta and the game itself because I just don't see much point kind of diving very deep into this game. I already did my first impressions video. I'm going to talk today about some of the suggested kind of changes that I would like to be seen over the next coming months leading up to launch. And I'll probably do one other video talking about the balance of design for lone wolf versus teamwork because I find that very striking in this game and it's an interesting topic to me, so I'll probably share it with you guys. Today, like I said, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we are about, what, 3-4 months before release. We have a lot of time. This is a legitimate beta, quote unquote. We don't really know behind the scenes, but I think it is. It has the opportunity to be. So I'm going to take the unique opportunity as a YouTuber and as a gamer to kind of talk about some things, some ideas I had as I've been playing the beta now. I'm also going to do this because I do know that the QA lead on Hardline actually watches these videos. I know he watched my impressions video as I spoke with him on Twitter about it, which is kind of really refreshing. Now, they did kind of do this in Battlefield 4. A couple of the guys, Dice Firewall and some of the Reddit guys, you know, they did actually watch the videos and comment back, and it's really pretty cool when they do that. Not just from a fanboy reason, but just, and not even that they're watching my videos in particular, but just that they're watching videos, they're listening. Now, it does make you cringe a little bit when you think about who else they might be listening to, but as long as they're smart about it, they take the big picture and they take any feedback, be it, you know, the video itself, the people in the comments, what have you. It's just nice to hear that they are listening to feedback, and so I have to imagine that in the position they are with Hardline so far out with this beta, you know, obviously they're trying to drum up hype and get the game known out there, get it on everybody's radar, but they're also, if they're foolish if they don't take some feedback and try to tailor the game to it. They have to understand that they have a bit of an uphill battle with the way Battlefield 4 went, so they want to, you know, kind of placate or kind of just play to the crowd a little bit and try to deliver the game that the people want. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about some things that kind of came to mind as I was playing. Now, let me preface everything by saying this is not me being negative on the game. It's too early to say one way or the other if the game's going to be good, the game's going to be bad. What I will say is I had fun playing it. Now, it does have its warts, it has its issues, it has the things I don't like. And this video, it will probably come across to some of you as me being overtly negative. That is not the case. It just happens that when you talk about things you'd like to see changed, you talk about the things you don't like. You don't want to see things changed that you do like. If you want to hear about some of the things I like, go watch my impressions video. I just don't want you guys to think I'm sitting here bashing on the game. I quite enjoyed my time in the beta. I very much look forward to hearing more about it, particularly the game modes and the maps, as I think the you know, purchase, non-purchase will swing on that. But we'll get to that when we get closer to launch and closer to the open beta. So let's just get right into it. I kind of have a little bullet list here about some topics and I want to share them with you guys. Like always, I'd love to hear your feedback on my topics as well as topics of your own that you would suggest to the developers. And you know, if I get a lot of good suggestions, perhaps I'll put together a video kind of summarizing all the ones together into a nice neat package and hopefully someone might see them. First for me, this is kind of a large fundamental change. I'd like to see them add a class. I'd like to see them add a driver class or whatever you want to call it, but that's the easiest way to explain it. I want this just to kind of feature how important a getaway driver or a transport driver are in this game. If you have a guy dedicated to moving people around the map, be it the helicopter or, you know, the SUV or whatever, or even just a guy that's always like moving up the command post to the proper positions, that is OP. Your team will win if this is the case. You know, this kind of goes hand in hand with guys who are also operating the armored, you know, the offensive vehicles. I can't tell you how many times, especially playing Lone Wolf myself, Blood Money especially, if there is a guy moving people, shuttling back and forth, going to the enemy vault and stealing their money, that is such a powerful tool. So I would like to see them kind of focus and feature, and by making this a class, I think that would alert people that, oh wow, that's a role that somebody should be playing, and I think that would be really cool. You could go any which way with this. You can add some perks, you can add some items, you know, maybe make the vehicles handle better or a little more resilient or what have you. There's tons of potential here in my mind, and I would just like to see them do that. It would add a little more flavor. It would add some more, you know, roles, like gadgets and things to unlock longevity of the game. But most importantly, like I said, it would focus people on and make them aware that, you know what, yes, medic, engineer, support, and sniper are important, but there's this other role, and I think it would diversify the game from other Battlefield games, obviously. You know, saying, you know what, yeah, that is a role. That is a role people can play. Maybe we should focus on that. So let me know what you guys think about that. Going along with the driving vehicle themes, I would like to, and this is not my suggestion, I've seen this elsewhere, spike strips I think would be an incredible addition. I don't see any reason why they couldn't do this. Perhaps then if you wanted to, you know, piggyback this with my first suggestion, perhaps drivers that have kind of leveled up or perks or they have some gadgets or something, you know, focused to the driver class would maybe lessen the effect of blown out tires. Because what I'm saying with spike strips is I don't want to see cars just totally just stopped. I don't want to see cars just blow up. What they should do is they should take out the tires. Now suddenly that vehicle you're driving is going to be less responsive. It's going to be slower. It's going to not be able to handle as well. You could still move, but you're going to be a much easier target. This, of course, I would think would go to the engineer class. It would just make them more... You know, the vehicle's very quick. They can be hard to take out. And once that vehicle breaks out, a lot of time it's GG. So this would just give us a little more time to do that, and kind of, it's just another tool in the toolbox. And like I said, it could go really well then with the driver class, because the driver class could help balance that out by someone in a dedicated role as a driver is going to have an advantage to just some random jumping into the driver's seat and going, because he's going to have his kit perked out to be able to handle things like this. I think it would be really fun. Again, it would diversify it from the other games, and I think it would just add more tools to the toolbox for good players to use. Another one I would do, I would remove the parachute. Now, a lot of people might not like this because they like just the ability to just go anywhere they want, but it's just, to me, it's like I'm in an urban setting, I'm a police officer or I'm a criminal. Why am I able to jump off the top of a skyscraper at will, really? It would also, you know, focus more attention on the zip lines and grappling hooks. These are actually pretty good gadgets, especially on the heist mode where you have to get it up onto the top of the one skyscraper and the staircases can get bogged down. It's really good when you go to that other building and you zip line across. People don't expect it. It wins you a lot of matches. But it kind of gets lost in the shuffle because people are just so interested in running up to a roof ledge and jumping off. I would just get rid of the parachutes. It doesn't fit for me. It kind of breaks the immersion. But that's just me. I understand some people would disagree with that. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. I would, you know, getting back to the car theme, I probably should have reorganized this a little bit better. I would actually remove the armored vehicles. Now, I shouldn't say remove the vehicles. I would remove the armor. Again, this whole thing here, if we're going cops and robbers, is going to be more civilian vehicles. Sure, it's going to be law enforcement who are, you know, souped up a little bit to armor and stuff. But this whole idea that these impenetrable glass and stuff like that, it doesn't fit. And a lot of times you're SOL against these things. And, you know, I would also remove the grenade launcher. I just don't think that a law enforcement would ride in with this thing and just fire willy-nilly grenades all over the place. Heavy machine guns and things like that, that's fine. You know, things that fit. And, you know, that's my thing here. It's like, a lot of times Hardline feels more like small armies fighting each other, or like terrorists, counter-terrorists, when apparently, and I guess we won't know until we play the single player to get the real story that they're going for, the real kind of environment and world they're going for. But this should be law enforcement versus criminals. I mean, that's the theme we're told, and some of the things just don't fit. And these heavy armored vehicles riding down the street. Now, I should say I wouldn't remove the command vehicle. I think that's what it's called off the top of my head. I like that. It's purely not really an offensive weapon, but it is a really powerful tool if you use it as a spawn point, and I think it's great. That should have some armor. That should maybe even have, you know, some other effects. But yeah, I would definitely kind of at least nerf down some of the armored vehicles, because again, if you have somebody in one of those running around, it can be really hard to take them out. Now, that could just be chalked up to beta, perhaps. You know, people aren't as aware. People aren't running engineer. Everybody seemingly was running, you know, the medic class just because that's the most known to people. I don't know, but I just don't like them. I would like to see the armor kind of removed for that. Hand in hand with that, I did mention a little bit. I'm gonna, you know, focus on it right now. The bulletproof glass needs to change. I don't like the fact that I can't shoot people out of certain vehicles. Maybe you're going to have some different levels of destruction. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 bullets to kind of break the glass, whereas like a muscle car, you can just shoot right through the windshield. But I don't like this idea that someone in an SUV or a helicopter even is impenetrable to my LMG fire. That should be changed. It should be beta issue, or perhaps I'm just doing it wrong. I don't know. It just didn't feel very good to me. All glass should be penetrable at some point. I should be able to shoot people out of any vehicle. Again, these are civilian kind of setups here. I mean, sure, they are a bit law enforcement, but these are not heavy military-grade vehicles. Just, that's how I see it. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, of course. Add some destruction. Now, this, of course, could be beta being beta, right? I mean, we've seen this in Battlefield 3 and 4 as well. We need some destruction. These maps can kind of get kind of stale. I mean, there's some Levolution, obviously. There's some little effects. But I want to be able to kind of forge my own paths and blow some walls out and things like this, as we've kind of got to know. And Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4, now we're going to go to Hardline. Yes, it's a tangent game, and it's an offshoot spin-off, but I want to see some progression in that. I want to see some, you know, moving the bar a little higher. Let's see this. It's smaller squad number or server numbers. You know, it's supposed to be a smaller modes, so we should have room in there to kind of have a little bit more destruction. I'd really like to see that. You know, kind of, I know it is beta, I'm playing one map, really 2 modes in the same general areas, but it can get kind of boring really fast if it's the same map every time. I'd like to see some innovation on the player's part through added destruction, especially some of the cars. The civilian cars don't blow up and things like that. That's silly. I think any car on a street should be enterable, any car on the street should be destroyable. That just seems just commonsensical to me. Where is the teamwork? That's one of the things I would really like to see focus on. I'm probably gonna do a whole other video on this. You know, a lot of the gadgets seem to be focused around lone wolfing, and they've said that they're trying to make this game approachable to lone wolves. You know, the survivalist, as well as kind of getting your own ammo and heals off the support guy and medic by yourself. But I'd like to see a little more focus on teamwork. Obviously, I like the zip line and stuff like that. But, you know, let's try to find some ways to, you know, we don't have to force teamwork onto people. You can't force teamwork onto people. That just leads to frustration. You want to entice them into teamwork and make it very easy for them to do it and very powerful to do it as you work as a squad. With that said, I would remove the survivalist perk. I've said this before. There is no place for this. It completely dumbs down the game. It waters down skill. It waters down teamwork. It is a selfish perk. To me, it goes against everything that should be in a first-person team-oriented game. Just please remove it. Another thing that's probably going to chalk up to beta, improve the player models. They're a little boring to me. They don't look so good. A lot of people have commented this looks like cartoony, arcadey, and I think that all starts with the player models. Again, this could just be kind of an early version of it, but we're built on an older engine, so I feel like this should have been further along. It can be hard to tell some of the classes a little bit, so that could just be being a new player as well, but I'd like to see them go a little differently here. I like some of the animations, like I said, throwing the money bag on your back and the money's falling out of the bag. I think that's cool. It's funny, but, you know, it's only going to have an effect in the very beginning. Let's improve these player models. Let's make them a little more detailed, a little more engaging. I think there's a lot of room to be improved there. Add the revive balance back. This is the team revive, not the survivalist. I don't know why they took this out from Battlefield 4. You know, Battlefield 4 has that. You have to charge it to get a full revive. You can do a quick revive, and they're hurt, they're damaged, and you also can't, like, you know, chain revive really quickly. That's not the case on Hardline. You can revive very quickly, full health. I don't know why we took a step back here. Battlefield 4 was much improved over Battlefield 3. Let's go to the Battlefield 4 system, please. This little needle that I can just run around sticking people. It's just, again, it's just, I thought we agreed Battlefield 4 was better. Let's go and do that. It's something that seemingly they could change. Exiting vehicles. This needs an animation already. I mean, how many years do we have to go without this? Especially in a game like this where muscle cars can fly up right onto your heist objective, and you're shooting the car and you're trying to shoot him out of the car, and next thing he ejects, but the way they eject is they're like 6 feet out of the car, so now they're out of your gun range and they can literally shoot you then. No, if you're in a car and you're disembarking that car, you're exiting that car, you should be at a big disadvantage while doing so. You should not be able to shoot for a while, and you should be totally wide open. This should cause people not to drive in full speed with a muscle car and crash into a car, eject themselves out 8 feet, guns blazing. No, that's not how it should be. The driver should be at a big disadvantage. Anybody getting out of the car, frankly, should be at a disadvantage. And it's time we see an animation to this. You figured out a way to make us be able to climb out of the window and shoot in 360. I don't see why we can't have an exit animation by now, and I think that really needs it in a close quarter, urban-y, tight fighting scenarios. We need this added. It's really, I think this is really pretty important, to be honest. It just breaks it when you're shooting at a car, you're trying to shoot through the windshield at the guy, you're getting a hit marker or two, you're winning the fight, and next thing he hits the E button and he just shoots out of this car magically 7 feet away, and he almost like insta flanks you and he takes you down. It's very annoying. It's happened to me quite a few times in beta. I'd like to see this remedied. Make money harder to earn. Now this again could be a beta thing, but I just want to say this because I think it's important. Make money much harder to earn. Otherwise, people are going to burn through this game very quick. Now, you cannot make it a grind, but here's what I'd like to see you do to balance that out. Make money very hard to earn. Make it much more difficult to rack up. Because the whole ranking system, I mean, in beta right now, I have tons of money I don't know what to do with. And when I unlock an attachment for a gun, I basically just buy all of them. Make money harder to earn, or you could raise prices, whatever you prefer to do, but make team play much higher paying. And that's how you're going to entice people to play as teams. Certain things, reviving teammates, make that worth a ton. Defending, taking the bags and things like that. Make that pay a ton. Like, way more than a kill. If a kill's 100, make, like, reviving a teammate worth 500. Like, make it scale so crazy that people almost, like, don't want to not revive you. Now, of course, we got to worry about them people just doing stupid revives, but you can't patch stupid, and I'd rather have people trying to work as a team and failing than just being selfish and be like, there's no reason for me to go and try to revive my teammate. I would focus people and entice them and encourage them to play as a team through the money system and experience too. You could do the same way. You cannot force teamwork. You cannot force it. It's just to lead to frustration, but you can entice people, and that's what I want to see the shift towards. That kind of wraps up my general points. I do want to just add one thing on Heist, and again, this could be beta, early map, kind of a rough draft. but why are both trucks in Heist right on each other? It's instead of having 2 objective points, you really just have 1 big objective point. I really don't like this. It just makes the map, you're playing one little small section of the map, it makes this map, particularly as you're playing it over and over and over again, get stale real quick. Can we separate these a little bit so you actually have to have kind of coordinated attacks on 2 different places? And perhaps that's their plan. On other maps, that might be the case. I know that that general cinematic in the beginning of the Heist on High Tension is the trucks come and one goes off the bridge, one crashes on the bridge. Okay, so maybe that's just on this map. But I just wanted to say that I really hope this isn't going to be the theme. I want to see 2 objectives. I don't want to all be armored trucks, please. Can we like have one where you have to rob a bank and then maybe rob a jewelry store or something, or we have to hit a police station? There's a lot of room for creativity in this game, and I really want to see them harness that. I don't want to see it just be this redone graphically MCOM. That's basically what we have right now, and I understand that it's really easy to reuse assets, but don't fall into that trap. And let's just, you really want to diversify this game from Battlefield. It's built on the Battlefield engine. It's always going to feel like Battlefield, but let's take some of that room that you've given yourselves. Like, you've kind of stepped out of that Battlefield mold, and that's great. And the reason I'm going to like this game or not is how far you go with this idea. It's a good idea. I've said it before even I knew about this game. How far you take that idea is going to determine for me whether this is a very good game or if this is just a one and done type of thing. So there's just some ideas I had. Guys, please let me hear in the comments any suggestions. I'm sure I missed some. There's probably tons. I haven't played a ton of time in this game. I've probably got about 10 to 15 hours in the beta right now. And so, I'm sure there's a lot of you that played a lot more. I really only played with the medic and the support. I don't even remember the names of the classes. So I'm sure a lot of you guys can add some stuff to me. And again, if I get a lot of good suggestions, I'll make a part 2 of this and kind of put it all together nice and neatly in the hopes that somebody might watch it and see it. Like always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I will talk to you soon. Take care.